Rodriguez and Margaret Ann Healy from CMU. The Division III miler is going to take command of this one, and she will see the big number 2 on the lap counter. Coming up, 2 laps remaining. On the D3 side of things this year, 3:39 with 1 to go, or excuse me, 2 to go, 1 lap outside. Looking solid, being chased by Rodriguez. From Penn, the D3 national lead is Amelia Lehman from Wisconsin Oshkosh. A converted 200 flat of 4:43.70. They get the bell at 4:15. The young lady from Carnegie Mellon might be moving her way up into the rankings, higher than she is right now with number 19. And again, ran that on the 200 flat over in Ohio, but trying to hold on and chase down Izzy Rodriguez from Penn. And the best wheels right now is Julia Gell from Iowa. The Hawkeye middle distance runner pulling up to the shoulder of Rodriguez. It is Gell sneaking away for the win in 4:51.38. And a quick congratulations to our winner. There it is, 4:51.43. Rodriguez 4:51.80. And then Margaret Ann Healy, check out her number, 4:53.07. That will move her up a couple notches. She will now be in the Division III top 10 as she improves on her season best from over in Ohio on a flat track. Section number 12. And we are cooking with gas, and it looks like on the oval, I think we have a dozen, so we may have 1 scratch in this one. Yep, I do see 12 on the oval. Section number 12, 4:59, or excuse me, 4:54 mile is our target time, as Tulane's Jasper Newton leading the way and pulls Caitlin Swartz from Kansas away from the field. A little bit of separation for the two of those as they are under 35 seconds apiece for the opening 200 meters. The Jayhawks had a real nice day yesterday in making the trip to the East Coast. And the opening quarter in 70 seconds, still leading the way, Jasper Newton from Tulane. Out of the Big Easy. Green Wave. One of those nicknames and mascots you just gotta like, as far as I'm concerned. All right, Newton in the lead, Swartz in second, and Jasmine Trott from Bryant just a little bit on the outside in the number 3 spot. You see 37-second laps. We're deviating just a little bit from pace. Down the back straight into the far turn. Single file running them for this field of 12. Still pretty much in line. We'll hit the 809 meter mark in 2:25. Tulane out of the American Conference, with college teams moving all around through the ranks. We mentioned earlier about the Division III teams moving around in the state of Ohio. 3:02 with 3 to go. Jasper Newton still on point. The sophomore from Tulane. They're kind of bunching up front. 5 in this field are within a couple strides of each other, and that is Daniela Henderson from Yale, the new leader. Swartz from Kansas will come with her. And UMass Amherst, Allison Timiluski, the new number 3 runner. As Newton steps off, takes this field deep into the race. Final 2 laps. That's a lot of work, extra work for her. Jasper, nice job. And there is our pack of 4. Will the winner come out of it, or will we see a big move by Morgan Nygren from UC Riverside? You see her back wearing number 3, about 8 meters behind our leaders. There's a group of 4. Caitlin Swartz, the first one to go, bringing Timiluski with her. They are side by side, 2 by 2. They're going to go 3 wide with Leah Klapatoskis from Loyola, Illinois. Going to sneak by and get down to the rail. But this one isn't over. Daniela Henderson from Yale led briefly. Can she run down the Midwestern miler? Not going to do it. So Leah Klapatoskis from Loyola, Illinois, taking a breather. After a great final half. 4:52.36, a big improvement above the pace. The women milers in these open races are just doing a great job. Heat number 13, the field. We see University of Texas, Pitt, Johns Hopkins, MIT. So we do have D1, D3 mix here. A little smaller group this time, only 11 in the field. Saw one of the runners from Brockport State, Ethne Deegan, was at their team hotel, where we shared the hotel outside of Boston. Getting their shakeout run in this morning. Not too bad outside. Definitely an improvement over recent weeks in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Winter has been chilly. Ella Madsen from McMaster out of Canada, your leader. She's going to take 409 meters in 74 seconds. Still sub 5-minute pace as we're moving through these heats of the women's open mile. Scheduled to be on at least 5-minute pace for a couple more sections, as Claire Semerad from the Coast Guard Academy on the rail in the number 2 position. Five laps remaining. Still your leader, Ella Madsen from McMaster. They're going to come up on the midpoint right now. We'll get them 880 yards at 227, 228. The Marauders from McMaster out of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And Ella Madsen, your leader, with Semerad from the Coast Guard Academy in second, and Davidson's Elise Boyce moving up with the lead change. It is now Claire Semerad from the Coast Guard Academy. Madsen didn't go away. She is still sitting in the number 2 spot. So Madsen, originally from British Columbia, Canada, but went all the way across the country to go to McMaster University in Hamilton. Across Lake Erie from my old stomping grounds, but right now the water is belonging to the Coast Guard Academy's Claire Semerad. One to go at under 420. Semerad opening things up on Madsen. Good wheels in the number 2 spot, but not able to keep up with the move by Claire Semerad from the Coast Guard Academy. Getting the windmill of encouragement from her teammate with the fist pump at the finish line. A very happy winner in section number 13, Claire Semerad from the Coast Guard Academy. I can hear the let's go from here. Wow, what a run. 4:53.73, wins by 1.4 over Ella Madsen from McMaster out of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Another look at the run for home. Yes. That is a celebration. Alrighty. Heat number 1-4, 2/3 of the way home of these women mile races, the open races, the FloTrack Night in America presented by Saucony, starting at 3:45 p.m. Carson will be back on. And then Nia Gibson will join us. She is going to be there talking to each of the winners in those 12 races. Well, not talking to all 12 races. Maybe we can talk to all 12 winners. I like that. It's going to be, she's very busy, but definitely the winner of the hot heat of each of those 800-mile, 3K, and 5K. Angeli Prescott from Davidson College. And Davidson, North Carolina. And UConn's Allison McCarthy. And here's where that 5-minute 4:59, just like 4 minutes 3:59. So important to dip under that barrier if you haven't been there yet before. As Prescott leading the way down the back straight, ready to put the third lap in the books. With McCarthy in second along the rail, that is Cornell's Kinja Jakowska. 3 down in 150. They're going 3 wide, and that was Catherine Miller from Colorado Christian, who's moved up into the number 6 position. UConn's McCarthy sitting on the shoulder, but not anymore. She is your new leader at start finish, and it might be brief as Christina Elliott from Pitt, and it is. The junior Panther now on point, but she's battling with her former Big East rival. And another mover and shaker up near the front, Flora Biro from Amherst. The number of lead changes. And fall, that was going off track from Cornell. It looked like more a leg injury. Kinga Jakowska, one of those up near the front. But right now, UConn's Allison McCarthy still in the lead. Christina Elliott from Pitt in second. And we saw her move and go 3 wide. Catherine Miller from Colorado Christian moved up into the number 6 spot. Now she is pushing hard. The grimaces, she moves down to the rail. She is the new leader, coming up on 3/4 of a mile in 3 minutes and 44 seconds. They're next to the green lights, so looking good as their overall pace scheduled to be 4:57 for the mile, but a lot of effort put into that move by Catherine Miller. And Bentley's Lily Tedford. If you're not familiar with Bentley, just outside of Beantown in Waltham, Massachusetts. She is going to go wide. Up into the banking. She's going to go all the way to the front, and she's going to be rewarded with the lead at the bell at 4:22. She pulls with her Prescott from Davidson. Big strides, trying to eat up as much of this track as possible. Lily Tedford from Bentley, one of those athletes coming in at just over 5 minutes. Will she hit that magic 4:50 and change? We will soon find out. Lily Tedford from Bentley with the win in 4:57. She rids herself of that 5-minute club. She is extremely pleased with that performance. It looks like about a 3-second PR for her. 4:57, dropping down from 5 flat 79. And she ran that at the John Thomas Terrier Classic, so a 3-second PR from 2 weeks ago. Nice run by Lily Tedford from Bentley. Section number 1-5 on the oval. Jessica Meza from MIT leading the way in heat number 1-5, and that lead was short-lived as her teammate Megan Dulius scheduled to be the pace setter. You see her dialed in on that watch. And this is the group, the first one scheduled to be coming home in 5 minutes. And all of the runners in this race have seed times slower than 5 flat. Excuse me. All right. 2 laps down in under 75 seconds, so they are below 5-minute pace. Looking pretty good so far. That 35.6, the last speedy lap for our Rabbit. Millicent Wafula in that first open race went 4:37.21 for the Alabama Crimson Tide. That is our best mile today, and one of 3 under 4:40. Megan Dulius leading the way, her teammate tucked in behind her, and then we'll just go back a stride or so to Anna Krangle, representing the Vikings of Cleveland State. And then Mia Conroy from Arkansas State. They brought a crew up here to Boston this weekend. Stepping aside, they go through halfway under 2:30. Got a chance, folks, to be another sub-5 mile for the ladies this afternoon on Ladies' Day at the David Emery Valentine Invite presented by Saucony. Krangle, a 5:02 miler for the Vikings from Cleveland State, the leader with 3 laps remaining. The whole field is there except for our pace setter. Everybody is in contention. We'll see if we start seeing some moves. Going 3 wide, that is Melina Syback from Arkansas State. We see her right there moving up into the number 4 position. Going into the far turn, but a little bit of separation for Krangle from Cleveland State. Anna Krangle, 3:44 at 3/4. Syback, we just mentioned about her big move. Now she's all the way up into the number 2 spot. There she is. Only one runner ahead of her. That is Anna Krangle from Cleveland State. Melina Syback, 5:03. Wouldn't that be a nice thing to take home to Arkansas? A sub 5-minute mile from Boston University. At the bell, 4:22. On the button is Syback, 0.7 of a second faster than Krangle, but Krangle's found another gear, able to keep that lead about 8 meters. Tufts Zhu Chinchaukar, saw her moving from 4th to 3rd. Don't know if she's going to enter the fray. Here she comes. Now she's in the number 2 spot, but not enough race left. I don't think it is going to be Krangle, your winner from Cleveland State. She is under 5, so is Chinchaukar from Tufts. So at least the top 2 in that one break through the 5-minute barrier. Make that 4. Wow, what a run by Syback and Meza also to go sub 5. Good start for the field. Lots of traffic on that inside alley. Only 4 on the outside 3 lanes. Section number 16 of 21. And our pace setter right there wearing number 14, Erin Hovenden from MIT. She's got a teammate, Jordan Laxamana, on the rail in second with, looks like that's Maya Levine from Amherst in the number 3 spot. Check that. That is Delaware's Nina Gambalori. And Claire Palmer now actually going ahead of the pace setter. Interesting maneuver as Palmer went 35.8 the last lap. There the banners recognize each of the BU legends in which all these meets have been named, as Claire Palmer once again from Middlebury. As Hovenden looked at her watch, see if her pace was dialed in. 3 down, 5 to go, 149 high for Palmer. Palmer is a freshman. Palmer has run 5:05 previously as a collegiate athlete. She also had a collegiate PR a week ago in the Tufts 6-way invite, 227 through 809 meters. And her collegiate mile PR was 2 weeks before that. Again, 5:05.18. On some 200-meter flat tracks. And a sizable lead here for Palmer. Three to go at 3:05. Middlebury had the D3 national champion in cross country, but that young lady spending her spring semester abroad, not doing any racing in the States in the spring. Big lead, almost 20 to 25 meters for Claire Palmer from Middlebury. There she is on screen. Again, thanks for joining us today. Great day 2 has developed for this year's David Henry Valentine invite presented by Saucony. And to give credit to the young lady from Middlebury, that is Audrey McLean, a junior, was a big winner in the D3 cross by almost 50 seconds. With 1 to go at 4:22, her teammate trying to go under 5, again, her collegiate best 5:05.18. The freshman Panther coming for home. Doesn't have quite the closing speed that second and third do, but lots of open track behind her. She really put it out there and is going to set a collegiate best. Not able to sneak under 5, but A valiant effort to go after it. Claire Palmer moved her way ahead of our pace setter and won that one going away. There she is, and there are the numbers. Wins by just over a second over Brooke Power from Western Ontario, one of those two fast closing middle distance standouts. Heat number 17. We're going to be, it looks like, a little bit ahead of schedule going into the FloTrack Night in America presented by Saucony. We'll bring all the players back on screen and setting the table for what should be an exciting hour and 15 minutes or so. Carson and Nia up top and down trackside. Heat 17. Haley Bradley from Colgate of the Patriot League goes through 409 meters in 72 and change. And closest to her is Caitlin Campagna from McMaster out of Canada, the Marauders. Again, a very strong mascot nickname. Ashley Crane, Bradley's teammate, currently sitting third with Elise Kemp from Carnegie Mellon in the number 4 spot. We saw her teammate earlier move up the ranks in Division III milers by going sub-5. This group scheduled to reach the finish in 5:04. We'll see if that works out for them. The pacing lights, they are definitely ahead of the light system attached to the inside of the rail on this 200-meter banked oval at Boston University. Bring them in for special occasions as Kemp makes the move, goes wide, goes from 4th, just up 1 spot, with Bradley from Colgate still leading. Caitlin Campagna from McMaster, our leader as we work this second half of this race, with Kemp from Carnegie Mellon out of Pittsburgh in the number 2 spot. A big D3 presence as Heather Jensen from MIT trying to close in and join those two up front. About equal separation between 1st and 2nd and 2nd and 3rd, and also 3rd and 4th. So a little bit of open track. Nobody really tightly bunched together yet, but Kemp taking a look at, it appears, on the outside shoulder of Campagna. Final 400 meters. In third, that is Anna Maria Bachetta from Dartmouth. Where can she go? She's sort of boxing herself in a little bit by staying along the rail. It looked like she was bringing a lot of speed. Thought maybe she would swing wide and try to make the pass. Now she's going out into lane 2 and going to execute that, or at least most of it, until she gets to the turn. She does pull it off. Bachetta from Dartmouth, the new leader. Took a quick look, but she is starting to pull away. Really great speed. 5:07 her seed time, a quick smile. Going into the final 50 meters, 4:54 on the clock. Wow, if she had moved earlier, she would easily have made 5, but did she get under her? It looks like she might have. Would be a huge PR. Oh, yeah. She liked that. Seeing 4:59 and change. A smile from our winner, Anna Maria Bachetta from Dartmouth. There it is. The proof, 4:59.93. The move, the look, and then the speed over the final 150. That's probably the quickest close we've seen in the last 3 or 4 heats. Ten on the oval in heat number 18. Says 12, but we have a couple scratches. We'll take that into account. We're going 3 wide, almost 4 wide into this very tightly bunched group of 10 in section number 18. Hoping to come home in 5:06. We just saw a sub 5 in that last group that was destined for, oh, there we go. That was a bold move. That is Brandeis's Sadie Harrow, the judges. And she made a quick decision. She was moving wide, did it quick. Narrowly missed some contact, it appeared, as Katie Greenwald from Amherst, the current leader. Team Miller from Central College. Sophomore D3 school, 5:08 miler coming into today. Not to be confused with the Cornell kit, but very kind of similar there. She is sitting third behind our leader, Katie Greenwald. Coming all the way from Pella, Iowa to Boston, Mass, the team from Central College. And Team Miller in third along the rail, with Davidson's Mary Shoup in second. And our leader, Katie Greenwald. 3:10 with 600 meters remaining. Some pretty even numbers there, 38 point. Pacing wise in this group, an even pace would have been 38.03 throughout the full 8 laps plus 9 meters. They're still a little bit ahead of those green lights. There's our lead group of 4 as Harrow from Brandeis has joined the push up front. And Kayla Hawkins from Marist sort of in no woman's land right now as our lead group of 4 is split off 2 by 2. And Mary Shoup from Davidson, the new leader, down the back straight. Bell lap at 4:28. 38.3 the last time by, so we're looking at a 5:05 finishing time for Mary Shoup from Davidson as she starts to pull away from Sadie Harrow from Brandeis, the closest pursuer, about 8 meters back. Running away to victory, Mary Shoup from Davidson. It's going to better her entry time by about a half a dozen seconds. Nice effort for the senior from Davidson. And there are finishing numbers 5:04.38. Well done. We're down to our final 3 sections. Heat number 19 already assembled on the track. Meet management here does a great job as we are looking at being ahead of schedule going into our elite window. Live on FloTrack Saturday afternoon, Valentine's Day in Boston, Massachusetts. Let us introduce Christina Kyle from Springfield. She is our early leader. And there is Shay Fagan from Middlebury on her shoulder in the number 2 position. Colgate's Emma Bergfalk, 3rd along the rail. And then that is Annika Mueller-Hickler from Vassar, sitting 4th as they're 2 by 2 by 2 deep into this field, heat number 19. All right, 3 down, 154. That comes out to 38 seconds a lap. Look at that, 38.1 for Bergfalk, our leader in the early going in heat number 19. Shade Fajan now at the point. She runs for the Panthers of Middlebury. Again, her teammate, Ms. McLean, the national champion in cross country in Division III, is looking forward to seeing her race here this winter. But again, as the runner goes down into the outside, couldn't tell if she lost her balance or was tripped. Hopefully no injury resulting from that. Oh yes, she stumbled, fell, and took a hard fall onto the banked oval. That was one of the Colgate runners. And still leading the way, Fajan from Middlebury. With Ava Linnell from Davidson on the rail in second, and Mueller-Hickler from Vassar had been in third, now nosing ahead into the number 2 spot, and from Queens, that is Madison McDermott. So that's the 2x2 for our lead group of 4, with Fordham's Alexis Smith in the number 5 spot. Just stride or so off the back. Mueller slipped up a spot into third. Now she is our leader and pulling away as they will be greeted with the bell. Single file running. That 2x2 is gone, thanks to Mueller-Hickler's move, pushing things. And Ava Linnell is going to be on her shoulder, 4:31 at the bell. Linnell quickly moves into the lead, trying to catch up to those green lights, which signifies our pace of 5:08 for the mile in heat number 19. Eyes forward, trying to hold on, but she doesn't know. Here comes Abby Cairns from Dartmouth. The Ivy Leaguer had quite a lot left in the tank. She hits the line at 5:07. So it looks like the top 2 able to go through under our hope for finishing time. But a big push for home from Abby Cairns. She's happy at the 5:07.33. Wow, what a move that was. And we saw just the end of the last 200 meters. Coach and athletes share a special moment, and looks like a PR for Abby. "12 runners on the track for section 20. We are almost wrapped up with our open miles. They have been very entertaining. Some PRs. And just about all of them quicker than the tempo, so we can see the magic coming up from that track. Through these athletes' legs and arms and heads, just dial them in. They get the trampoline pushback effect from the track that I guess until you experience it yourself, it's really probably hard to figure out exactly what do they mean by it. Truly a trampoline pushing forward and up and out. Wow. It's good stuff. They know how to make a track, and this is a one-of-a-kinder here at Boston University, the Track and Tennis Center. Day number 2, Women's Day, Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there joining us. This is the social window, so if you're joining us free on social platforms, welcome. On X, Facebook and YouTube. We have some exciting stuff coming up at 3:45, and please consider taking that jump to being a subscriber and following along to all the great track and field action on FloTrack as the FloTrack Night in America presented by Saucony at 3:45, 800 mile, 3K, 5K. Three laps through in 1:55.9 for our leader Alexa Kozier from SUNY Geneseo, and Lamar's Hannah Roberts in the number 2 spot right off her shoulder. Coming up from Beaumont, Texas. That is Hannah Roberts from Lamar. They are the Cardinals, and their mascot called Big Red. Lots of red and black in that kit, as Hannah Roberts showing the way. She's a 5:12 miler. This group scheduled to come home in 5:10. There'll be 3 laps remaining. So Hannah there all alone after that 36 and change last lap. She is again run 5:12.67. She is a senior at Lamar. Ran that on the 200-meter banked oval 2 weeks ago in Houston. Has run 2:12 for the 800, so she's got some good speed with 2 to go at 3:50. Ran a 1:36.600 at the Martin Luther King Jr. Invitational down in Albuquerque on the 200 oval at altitude, almost 5,000 feet in New Mexico. Hannah Roberts building a big lead, 2 laps to go. Check that, 1 to go. The lap counter is 1 behind. .38.1 the last go round for Hannah Roberts. You see she is dialed in, focused, and running for home. Again, 2:12.800 speed. That's some good stuff there, and going to improve her mile PR today by about 6 seconds. Hannah Roberts with the victory. She's run 58.4 for 400 meters, so that last 3 or 4 laps, that was nothing but a thing. And she ran the 800 PR here a year ago at the David Henry Valentine Invite presented by Saucony. There's her number, wins by 2.2 seconds. All right, nice job, Hannah. 1 more to go. They're bringing them out. And we'll have a slight window for everybody to go grab something to drink and get settled in for FloTrack Night in America presented by Saucony. 5 heats of the 800, 5 heats of the mile, 1 heat of the 3K, and 1 of the 5,000 meters at this world record setting facility, the Track and Tennis Center at Boston University. Final heat. We're looking to get everybody home in 5:12 or under. That's 38.79 seconds per lap. That's Callie Monroe from Augusta, the early leader, 38 and change. Again, the opening lap is 209 meters because the full mile, 5,280 feet, 1,760 yards. Is 8 laps plus 9 meters. Field is caught up to our early leader, Ms. Monroe. And that is Kaylee Milligan from Ithaca, the closest to her. On the outside is boxed in just a little bit along the rail is Josina Aponte from Rowan. Had to sort of check her stride, and she's sort of lost with some of the taller runners around her. And Josabeth Graciano from Augusta has her teammate on point. They're going to come through 3 laps down, 5 to go in under 2 minutes. And Ms. Graziano, check that. That is Ms. Milligan in front, and Aponte, Josina Aponte, who was stuck along the rail. She got herself out of that box. She's going to just easily move herself toward the front. 2:36. We're right on 5:12 pace. Josina Aponte from Rowan, the leader. She has run 5:14 for the truly American distance of 1 mile. Ponte at the Scarlet Knight Open went 10:40 in the 3K. And in the Gotham Cup, that's her mile PR 5:14 back on January 16th, the junior from Rowan. And I get all that good PR out there, and Kaylee Milligan, the new leader from Ithaca, she was up front moving around. I think she sensed that we can go a little bit faster. Again, the pace, they are still right at that 5:12 pace, but I think she's got a little more left in the tank. As starting to move away from the field, looking fresh and strong at the moment at the bell at 4:32. 37 seconds, her last lap. That brings her home in 5:09 if she can duplicate that. Second is now Lita Griffith from Bowdoin. Made the push for home several laps out. Kaylee Milligan from the Bombers of Ithaca with the win well under 5:10. A great way to finish out these women's open miles. As I mentioned, we're hoping to finish under 5:12. That was the pace, and we're going to see at least 4, 5, maybe 6 runners under 5:14. Great run. The top 2 under 5:12. Kaylee Milligan with the win, section number 21. Some of the crowd, and it's a good one here today, day 2 of the David Henry Valentine Invitational, presented by Saucony. There it is, Millicent Wafula from Alabama, 4:37.21. The top 3 under 4:40. Folks, we're going to step aside for just about 10 minutes. Around 3:40, we're going to be coming back with the FloTrack Night in America, scheduled to kick off. That is presented by Saucony, scheduled to kick off at 3:45 with 8 heats of my favorite race, the 800 meters. We'll catch you in a little bit.
is a presentation of Flow Sports.
Boston University, the fastest indoor track in America, where BU's famous wood and high banks turn the fastest into record breakers. This winter, the home of PRs and the sport's biggest proving grounds are on FloTrack. This is the David Henry Valentine Invitational, live now on FloTrack Night in America.
(100) Ashford Street in Boston, Massachusetts, the Track and Tennis Center at Boston University, the stage, the location for this year's David Henry Valentine Invitational presented by Saucony. And tonight we are rolling right into the FloTrack Night in America presented by Saucony. Phil Grove, Old School Tracker, along with Carson Gambaro. Carson, it's been an exciting Day 2, Women's Day, Valentine's Day, so many things coming together, but so many things that really major players, people running events that maybe aren't their forte, but really could turn into incredible results on the world fastest oval.
Absolutely, Phil. Yesterday, the men's program was a lot about who's going to win. Today, in my opinion, it's about what records are going to be left standing. The women's mile, a big event for me. You consider Ellie Purrier St. Pierre already the American record holder in the event at 4:16:41, looking to go after that mark, but also Jane Hedengren, the buzzworthy freshman from Brigham Young University, already has set top 2 all-time marks in the 3 and 5K. Now she's dipping her toes in the mile. She's the high school record holder at 4:23 high. We'll see if she could potentially go after the collegiate record of 4:23:46.
And that mile race, something we're going to see basically 2 races in one, because St. Pierre is going to go out 4:14 pace, and Hedengren's scheduled to go out at 4:20 pace. So we'll have 2 different pace setters. Things really will be interesting to see how they play out in the 800 meters. I really obviously look forward to that. Michaela Rose, Wilma Nielsen from Oregon, not her forte, but again, we'll see how that plays out. Also one of the D2 all-timers as Nia Gibson down inside the track. Going to talk to all our winners. Nia.
Hey Phil, hey Carson, happy Valentine's Day. It is day 2 of the Valentine Invite, and it is the ladies' turn. As you guys were saying, we have a lot to look forward to, and especially that 800. You have Victoria Basong, she'll be in it. Michaela Rose will be in it. And then obviously again in the 5,000 we have Doris Lemon-Gole. Can she test Jane Hedengren's collegiate record? And as you guys were saying, the mile will be something to look forward to. Ellie St. Pierre and Jane Hedengren were late adds to the event. So we will see what's going to happen on this Valentine's Day is going down.
Thank you, Ms. Gibson. What a great Day 2 it's been. The men again had their entire program yesterday. Today is Women's Day. We do that, split up the genders, separated, focus on the men one day, the women the next, but this has just been a fantastic Day 2. That is the David Henry Valentine Invitational presented by Saucony, one of the all-time greats, along with John Thomas, the high jumper, Bruce Lahane, the longtime coach, and Sharon Collier Danville, the sprinter and hurdler. Now, as we get set for the first of 5 sections of the 800 meters, Carson, a very small field in this one. I think only 9 scheduled to take the gun. But again, one of my favorite current 800-meter runners on the women's side in the U.S., Michaela Rose, such a personable, wonderful young lady, now running for Adidas after a great NCAA winning career at A&M. She is in the field. She has run fast here before. She hasn't lost here before. That is pretty interesting. Can she keep it going?
Michaela Rose, the former LSU Tiger, former NCAA champion. There is no such thing as a slow 800-meter race with Michaela Rose in the mix. She knows how to take it out fast like anybody. She's willing to stretch it out even faster than our prescribed pace of 57 seconds. She likes a 56-second opening quarter if it is in her best interest. We'll see just how fast she takes it out in the pro life, but there's a lot of other recent collegians in this. You look at Victoria Basong, the former Harvard Crimson representing New Balance. Nia talked about her earlier. She's already hit a new PR of 2:36. So there's a lot to consider here. Nielsen, the reigning mile champ indoors. Emery Ross, the freshman from Michigan. And Megan Hunter, the reigning outdoor bronze medalist. This is an absolutely loaded field. pretty much ditto to what you were just saying.
How could I confuse my mascots and colors? Yes, she ran for LSU. All right, here she is. On the line, we have 8 on the track. We do have 1 scratch in this one. Again, as Carson mentioned, going out at 28.5 per lap. They'll shut off the wave lights, the pacing lights after the first 400 meters. As Victoria Bussong, very familiar with this oval. She is wearing number 9. She ran for Harvard, one of those 4x4 standouts who's turned into a great 600 and 800 runner indoors.
Another runner with great 400 speed, though, that is Megan Hunter, the BYU Cougar alum. Interestingly, we sometimes see her use a come-from-behind strategy, so front running a little bit different than what we're accustomed to from Megan Hunter.
And speaking of front runners, Michaela Rose, definitely that is where she is most comfortable. She is sitting in the number 2 position. The young professionals up front, Hunter and Rose. Rose with a 1:58.12 lifetime best. She's taken a peek on the outside shoulder of Megan Hunter. They go through just under 58 seconds. How quickly can they close with 3 of them separated? Bussong in 3rd.
This is a huge opportunity for Victoria Bussong, who's, like you said, made those gains in the middle distance first, trying to inch closer to that magical 2-minute barrier that she has yet to break.
It looks like our winner, I believe, is going to come from one of those front 2. Megan Hunter running for Nike, Michaela Rose for Adidas. Bussong trying to hold on the New Balance rep in this one and pulling off to the side. Didn't see who that was. 128 and change, and that is never a good thing to see.
That was Fanny Arendt of Texas Tech. The Raider will have to wait for her next 800 finish, but look at this race on the backstretch. Michaela Rose is coming from behind this time.
She definitely has the stride advantage, but she's going to have to wait to catch her on that short home straightaway. Michaela Rose, Megan Hunter, stride for stride. Bussong trying to sneak by on the inside, and who's coming up from 4th? That is McKenna Keegan. Keegan, it is going to be a close one. 4 finishers, sub-2. Didn't develop as quickly as we thought it would be in the final time, but 4 athletes separated by just a stride. Megan Hunter, 159.7 for the winner. Again, getting congratulations from her former coach at BYU. There are the numbers. McKenna Keegan closed incredibly strong, 2:05. Another look at when we lost the runner from Texas Tech, Fanny Arendt. But there is the push for home, and just saw how quickly McKenna Keegan was able to close running for Melbourne Track Club.
Megan Hunter continues a stellar indoor campaign. She already has a 1:59.70 to her name from the Dr. Sanders Scorcher at the end of January, and here in the mid stages of February, she backs it up with a wire-to-wire victory. It is not easy to run wire-to-wire in the indoor 800, no matter what type of runner you are. A front runner, sit and kicker, Megan Hunter is breaking the mold now as a pro.
And 4 under 2 flat, 0.2, as we're going to send it down to inside turn 1. Ms. Gibson and Ms. Hunter ready to talk track.
Thanks, Phil. I'm here with Megan Hunter, your 800 winner at 1:59.7, and you led from wire to wire. Talk to me about the strategy.
Yeah, we just wanted to get out hard and see what I could do. Training's been showing that, yeah, I can run fast times, so just wanted to kind of see what I could do.
Typically, we're used to seeing you almost use your competitors as a rabbit. Can you tell me what adjusted in practice, or maybe what did your coach say prior to you?
We weren't sure how people were going to get out. We just knew we wanted to get out hard. So if someone was going to get out hard with me, then that's what we were going to do. But yeah, I mean, I just felt strong from the front out there and figured, okay, I'll just take it today.
1:59.7 in February. So tell me, what is the plans for you for the rest of the indoor season?
We'll do USAs in a couple of weeks. So yeah, just going to kind of divide down and keep training. And yeah, I'm excited for 2 weeks from now.
All right, well, congratulations, Megan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nia, and congratulations, Megan, the winner of the women's 800 meters, the hot heat. We still have 4 more heats of the 800, but Susan Anino from the Atlanta NYC Track Club currently in the lead with some collegiate runners on her shoulder, Carson.
This is a wide open race if you look at its current shakeup. Heading towards the bell lap, you got Avery Pearson of Colorado and Tessa Buswell of BYU moving.
And that's Maeve O'Neill from Providence in the lead. with just one lap to go. But it is all collegiate runners at the front. We see Olivia Howe from Adidas trying to move up. She is now in the number 4 spot. But again, the Buffaloes, Avery Pearson from Colorado challenging O'Neill from the Mountain States to the East Coast. Who is going to pull out the win in heat number 2? Olivia Howe, can she sneak by? She's got a long way to go. She's got the miler's grit. But the winner, it looked like on the inside, that would go to Maeve O'Neill from Providence.
That was
no, it is Colorado.
Finish.
They're the same time. 2:03.21, so they go down to the thousandths of a second. Pearson did edge ahead of O'Neill. Olivia Howell, former standout at Illinois and then Texas, 2:03.53, so she's run here a couple times. Buswell also under 2:04, and we'll see her later as a pace setter in that mile.
Absolutely, she's got an important job to pace current BYU stud Jane Headingren, her teammate, to a potential collegiate record. Tussling it up here in a contentious 800-meter race.
So every extra meter is so important, because when it comes down to a thousandth of a second to see who wins the second of 5 heats of the women's 800, Pearson,
wow,
on the outside by the narrowest of margins. And again, they both run 2:03.21. Heat number 3 of 5. And again, it's great that we have more than one opportunity to focus on a distance. I know in the 3K and 5K, we only get one shot, but in the half mile and the mile, again, we have such quality athletes here, and we saw some good stuff. You called the 800s earlier. I had the open miles. We had 3 women under 440. We'll see some good stuff in heat 3.
Absolutely. Providence fans, I don't know if they're exactly going to want to accustom themselves to photo finishes, as Shannon Flockhart ran away with that 1,000 in a 2:37 earlier. Former Providence Friar, but Maeve O'Neill, either way, a great race between she and Pearson. Heat 3 out quick as well. Looking to go through with the pace setter Abigail White of South Carolina in 25.75 per go around.
All right, Abigail White is on that outside alley. The field comes together. She goes through in just under 30 seconds for the opening 200. And then Sydney Smith from the Ottawa Lions Track and Field Club. We do get the Canadian collegiate athletes and post-collegiate runners coming down here to test out the winter training, the cold, long winter months of the Great White North, where they're coming down here, and they are on fire in Boston.
You can see Sylvia Chalanga in the matching South Carolina Gamecock kit trying to link up with the pace setter White, who will step off after a quarter. Can't quite get to the front. Instead, it's the Red Storm of St. John's, Nora Haugen.
Yes, I was outside when that team arrived today, and wow, what a push it was. That was a Red Storm. She went from 4th to 1st. She really wasn't in the picture, but now she is up by 6 to 8 meters, and Victoria Guerreri from Yale is trying to close, but she has to be content with the number 3 spot currently. Amy Piccolo from Battle Road, they are familiar sights here at BU. She is now in the number 2 spot with 1 lap to go at 1:32.
1:32, so that third lap, you could tell, was the most painful yet. So important to position yourself well, though, and that's what Amy Piccolo used that third 200 to do.
How much of her gas did Nora Haugen from St. John's use and moving up to the front? Amy Piccolo looked very strong and determined, and there are 3 up front, the third being Privileged Chikara from Middle Tennessee State. It is Amy Piccolo from Battle Road, wearing the familiar green kit, is going to be victorious in 2:05 and change, heat number 3.
She waited for the perfect opportunity in that home straightaway. Might not have caught Haugen as soon as she'd have fought on that backstretch. Very resilient race by Nora from St. John's to be able to hold on to the lead for as long as she did. Privileged Chikara finished very strong as well for Middle Tennessee, but Amy Piccolo, like you said, Phil, Battle Road Track Club knows this track here at BU. They love coming here to events like David Henry Valentine, presented by Saucony.
And that was a huge push by Haugen. Her fuel gauge probably went from 3/4 down to 1/4, and just that big move. But Amy Piccolo, she had a good start. She was on the inside alley and then closed very well for the win. As heat number 4 of the 800 meters, and as quickly as they are done, they are moving right along to the next race. Meet management here is fantastic.
And rather audacious, if I need argue in the case of Molly Bennett of Boston University, who doubled in the 200 and 400, now stepping up to pace this heat of the 800. It's going to be her job to take us through in 59.5 through the 400-meter mark in heat 4.
She's flashing a little smile there. If I remember right, she was just outside of 25 seconds in her 200. I think that's, if I remember your call, it's like she's stepping out there for a 200, but she knows how to lead, how to run, and she knows this track, all three elements extremely important.
Well, she's still in sprint mode if you look at this first 100, fresh off of it, 25-12 over the eighth of a mile distance, but running this 800 meters, she'll start to settle it down a little bit. It's clear to see she's ahead of pace. We'll look to see who gets close to her, though. Olivia Martin of Princeton, the first to go.
She is flying. She's only a couple seconds off of her open 200 time, 27 and change, as Olivia Martin, as you said, from Princeton in the number 2 position, but well behind. Look at that big gap. You don't want to see that much early when you only have 4 laps to sort of bring everything together, as Stephanie Bertram from the University of Michigan sits third.
I liked her positioning coming off of that first lap. Wasn't too eager to get after the pace setter like Martin, who found herself on an island. She's in a nice drafting position and can now move up to take the lead. As the pacer steps off, Bennett's day is done.
Well, it was 59 and change, so that is where she was supposed to be, not evenly distributed, but she does get the job done, and it gave the finishers a visual target to look at in addition to the pacing lights.
And as you can see, we've now got a nice top 3 group forming to close us out in this final 300 meters of the race. Stephanie Bertram, Olivia Martin, and then in that blue
Lily Saul from Rhode Island.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
And here she's shuffling along, shorter stride, low to the ground. And is she going to pull in Stephanie Bertram from Michigan? She is going after her, pulling up to the shoulder, into the banking. Again, a runner familiar with this oval, pulling alongside, down the back straight. They flatten out. Lily Saul, a big move on this lap from Rhode Island.
These Rhode Island runners have been getting real familiar with the track and tennis center, just a week removed from ECAC championships. Lily Saul leads off the final turn.
Well, a great second half of the race for Lily Saul, as she's going to finish in under 2:05. What a big run. Unofficial 2:04.57 for Lily Saul.
That's a new lifetime best for her as a collegian, down from 2:04.94. Having placed second at Scarlet and White Invitational just a few weeks ago at Bruce Lehane. She drops her time significantly here. Took last week off, so she clearly came in with a little bit of freshness and racing instincts to boot.
And I'm certain when she gets together with her coach to talk about this race, they're going to say, you know what, everything came together just as we needed it. You made the move perfectly. You know this track. You pushed hard in the final 200 meters, and your last 100 plus was fantastic.
Well, she'll be looking to do the same down in Virginia Beach for the Atlantic 10 Conference Championships, as she just improved her number 1 time in the A10. Looking to go after those big points for the Rams.
You are watching FloTrack Night in America, presented by Saucony. This is heat number 5 of the women's 800 meters. We still have 5 heats of the mile, 1 of the 3K and 1 of the 5,000 meters. All record-setting distances here at the Track and Tennis Center, Boston University. Phil Grove and Carson Gambaro on the call. And we have Nia Gibson on the infield.
Nia could soon be talking to a record holder or 2 once we hit the women's invitational mile, but this 5th and final section scheduled to go through 60 flat through that 400-meter split. And even if nobody ultimately ends up breaking 2 at the 11th hour here, still, it's important for these 800 runners in the long term to get used to a pace that is around 60 seconds for an indoor opening 400.
Yeah, I talked to some coaches that were bringing their athletes here for the first time. Just the experience, the atmosphere, and also the type of facility there. If they usually run on 200 flats, this is a different feel. It's a different animal. When you get on championship ovals, whether it's at Virginia Beach, whether it's the Armory, wherever, or whether here at BU, it is all a different feel. As our rabbit out in front leading the way, I think that is Katie McCabe. It is from IU, Indiana University.
And it looks like she's doing a little pinch hitting. And Michaela Quinn, her teammate, was initially scheduled to pace us out, but Katie so far has had a nice response to the assignment. Let's see if the field can respond to her pace coming up to the halfway point.
and pretty even as she's going to take the group through in 59. Nice job. And it wasn't far before Elise Jessen from BYU took over the lead. She went 31-1 the last lap. She has about 315 meters to go, but we see another one of those runners from St. John's, Nara Garcia Moreno. We saw her teammate Hagen earlier push hard, and she is going to do likewise, going to pull up on the shoulder of Jessen. And here she comes, another St. John's leader.
Jessen can't panic here. Coach Dill-G Taylor standing right beyond the finish line, urging her to not give up. She's boxed in right now as the rest of the field takes over. Powerful move by the St. John's Johnny.
Garcia Moreno has got a whole bunch of runners close behind. The nearest one is Jade Buradon from South Carolina, right on her shoulder. She knows she is there. Garcia Moreno from St. John's, Buradon from South Carolina, and just enough left in the tank. Nara Garcia Moreno from St. John's, under 2:06.
Such a classy last 100 meters there out of Nara Garcia Moreno right there. Entering into the final 100 meters, it looked like she was going to be put under pressure by Jade Buradon, but had her elbows nice and wide to prevent any backstretch passes. Typically those straightaways are where you want to make those moves, but she would not allow it at all.
And another look at our fifth and final section of the women's 800 meters. This is the Invitational elite portion of our program, FloTrack Night in America, presented by Saucony. Some great action. 3 different leaders, and there's the final one, the only one that matters, Garcia Moreno from St. John's. And a look at the numbers. Megan Hunter, 1:59.74 wire to wire, holds off McKenna Keegan's bold rush at the end, and Michaela Rose as the top 4 go under 2 flat 0.2. As we will step aside for a moment, coming back, the women's mile, the American distance, and it is magic here at Boston University.